Well, good evening, basketball fans, and welcome, bienvenidos, here to the beautiful city of Valencia for this Group A fixture, the 2024 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament between our host Spain and the visitors Lebanon. Well, this is the second game here in game day one. I am your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside the great Shona Thurborn, two-time Olympian with the Canadian national team. And Shona, this is going to be a very interesting game. We've got arguably one of the greatest and most recognizable international teams in Spain against another team, Lebanon, with great, rich, beautiful history of basketball culture. I mean, how do we see this one panning out?
You know, obviously with the experience, the talent, the history, you got to give the nod to Spain. But Lebanon, it's always scary to play against a team that has nothing to lose, and that's exactly the way I think Lebanon needs to go into this game. You know, Spain are coming off a difficult past summer. I mean, I think they would probably say that they underachieved, even though, you know, I know there was talk like, well, okay, we just need to make it to the quarterfinals, you know, try and qualify. Well, they didn't, but they gave themselves an opportunity to be in this FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. And I'm really excited to see maybe what changes Spain have done after last summer, offensively, defensively. The team is more or less the same. I mean, if they weren't there last summer, they were there back in 2022 at Eurobasket when they pulled off gold. As far as Lebanon, I think this is just another opportunity to get a little bit more experience and play against really, really good teams. Spellman, he's back. Obviously, he's going to have a big game for them. And, you know, last summer was his first summer with them, and it took him a little while to get used to the international basketball. So I expect him to be better. And they're just going to have some really, really big performances. Biggest thing for me, though, Lebanon, they're missing their best player in recent years in Wael Arakji, who, you know, he was MVP of Asia Cup in 2022. How can you make up for his loss?
Well, that's a big, big question, especially against a team like this. Now, first of all, Lebanon having a Murray Spellman who currently plays in the Korean Basketball League. But look at this team. Alberto Diaz of Unicaja, one of the greatest defenders not only in the ACB, but also in Europe. Willie Hernan Gomez, the MVP of the 2022 Eurobasket. It's a big matchup. Garuba was a part of that championship team in 2022. But of course, there you see Juan Nunez, recently drafted in the NBA. I mean, Scariolo. They have got a team packed of superstars. Well, basketball fans, we're going to pay homage and respect if we stand for the national anthems of these two beautiful countries of Lebanon and Spain.
Stand up for the national anthem of Lebanon. Y con todos nosotros, el himno nacional de España.
National anthems of two beautiful basketball countries. You got the Kings of Europe against the Kings of Asia. Well, now it is time to introduce three very important people for tonight's game, and we would like to say a big thank you and appreciation and support to our referees here at FIBA. They've done an excellent job in all of our competitions, and they will continue to do so here tonight in Valencia for Game 2, Game Day 1. Well, the referees are coming from Latvia, Martins Kozlovskis, from Puerto Rico, Johnny Batista Palermo, and from the United States, Blanca Cecilia Burns. And again, a very big shout out and thank you to all of our referees. We're going to take a look at some of the key players for this game. And, you know, there's so many players you can pick up in this matchup. But tonight, we'll take a look at the starting lineups first. Well, Lorenzo Brown will be in the starting lineup along with Xabi Lopez Orostegui, Santiago Adelma, Willy Hernan Gomez, and legendary Sergio Llull. That's a start lineup right now. Well, now we're going to take a look at the matchups here tonight. But, you know, Willy Hernan Gomez, go back to Eurobasket 2022. Silently unstoppable. I mean, he was the Superman for Spain.
Yeah, he really was. You know, they kind of shocked the European basketball world by coming up with a gold medal in that tournament. And, you know, averaged around 18 points a game. But guess what? He also averaged 18 points a game, 5 rebounds at last year's Basketball World Cup. So he knows what it takes. And there's not a lot of superstars on this Spanish team, but he is definitely one of them. They're very, very good players, and they know how to play well with each other. And it works. They win. But Willy Hernan Gomez is their go-to guy offensively.
Well, Amari Spellman, NCAA champion in 2018, but now you look, Sergio Ardawich, Youssef Hayat, who did briefly play professional basketball in France, Jad Khalil. Interestingly, nobody in the starting lineup from Al Riyadi, who recently just won the BCL Asia. Well, looking at Lebanon's star player now, he does play in the Korean Basketball League. Had a very breakout year in 2023 when he played for Anyang KGC, winning the EASL Championship in the Okinawa Arena, which was the venue for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. But as you mentioned, drafted in 2018 by the Atlanta Hawks. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Championship DNA, NCAA champion with Villanova in 2018. I'm telling you right now, he's a phenomenal player.
He is, and I like to see that matchup with Willy Hernan Gomez. You know, maybe he can go at him, get Hernan Gomez into some foul trouble, and you know, that would be a big advantage. You know, I mentioned it, Spellman, he had his first summer with Lebanon last year. It took him a couple games to get used to it, but after that, 15.5 points a game, 5 rebounds. He needs to start strong. He needs to take care of the ball. He needs to demand the ball as well, because he can also spread the floor. He can shoot from outside, but he can also go inside.
Now, we got to give a lot of credit to the bench players. And when I say bench players, by no mean are they on the bench because they're not good enough. 3 players, Haik Gyakchan, you've got to talk about him. The man who won the BCL Asia this summer with Al Riyadi, the very best team in the inaugural season of what is, you know, FIBA's competition, the Basketball Champions League. But you got Kareem Seinun. Now, we're unsure right now if Amir Saoud, who is known as the Prince of Lebanon, another Riyadi player, will play tonight. He didn't warm up, so it is questionable. But it goes to show, you've got great players on the floor. You got championship DNA also coming off the bench. Lebanon, take nothing away. One of the very best teams, if not top 4 in the history of Asian basketball.
And you know, you talked about Lebanon's bench. I mean, Spain really, Coach Scariolo could actually start every single one of these 12 players. He's gone with his starting lineup. I love seeing Sergio Llull back into the starting lineup. He had a quiet, I would say he had a quiet World Cup. He played well last year for Real Madrid, just 8 points under, but talk about a pedigree. I mean, he's won everything in his career, as well as Rudy. He played well last year for Real Madrid, just 8 points under, but talk about a pedigree. I mean, he's won everything in his career, as well as Rudy Fernandez. I'm really excited to see the crowd's reaction when he checks into the game. If Spain can qualify, he will be playing in his 6th Olympics.
Well, we talk about Spanish Olympics. I mean, 3 times they've won the silver medal. Go back to 1960. It was one Emiliano Rodriguez, the first superstar from Spain, a Real Madrid legend. And now go to 1968. It was one Clifford Luke, drafted in the NBA by the New York Knicks. But where did he take his basketball? He took it to Real Madrid. Spain has a culture, a tradition in the Olympics. They got their first silver medal in 1984, Shona. Who did they lose to? The United States. Patrick Ewing, and one Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. My apologies to the LeBron James fans, but that goes to show just how much history there is of Spanish basketball. We talk about the Gasol brothers, that was their generation, but now it's about Juancho, it's about Willie, it's about Sergio, and again, these two teams, Lebanon and España, this is the second time they've met in international basketball. The last time, 5,052 days ago. That was almost 14 years at the 2010 FIBA Basketball World Cup, and now they meet again. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome here to Valencia. We're underway. Well, it's going to be Lebanon who have the first possession. Again, dealing with the intensity of the Spanish defense. Trying to find Amari Spellman. You can already see, trying to make things happen. There's the ISO, nice penetration. Oh, it's a good move, but the end product wasn't there. Lorenzo Brown now featuring for the second time here for Spain. The previous time was in the Eurobasket in 2022. Nice backdoor applies it. Dalma goes in. Well, I'd say that's a good foul by Yusuf Hayat because that was going to be a quick 2 points for Dalma, currently playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. Sublime time there by Lorenzo. That's an interesting transition he's had in the NBA. I mean, still relatively a young player, but, you know, when you come from a place like Spain and you make it to the NBA, especially the Memphis Grizzlies, you're always going to be compared to one infamous Pau Gasol.
He just finished, what was it, his third year in the NBA. If you look at his statistics, every year he has progressed. This year, averaging double digits for them. You know, you expect him to continue to progress as well. And you know what I like? He played really limited minutes last year at the World Cup. Obviously, he's proven himself throughout the year and throughout the training camps leading up to this tournament, and that's why we're seeing him start here today.
Spellman throwing this one down low. Belly headed goes inside the key, and that's a good start for Lebanon. Patient build-up, and you know, they can't show any fear against this intense Spanish defense. They've got to hold strong, but they've got to be composed, Shona. Finding Yule. Kicks out to Lorenzo Brown. Not a renowned three-point shooter, but again, wow, they may have just told me to be quiet.
You know, obviously, Lorenzo Brown wasn't with this team last year at the World Cup. He was there, and he was a big, big reason why they came away with the gold medal at the 2022 FIBA Eurobasket competition, All-Star 5.
Well, Hyden now looking to give this one up. Spellman can't shoot the three-pointer, but now he's going to take on Willie. Bumps, goes for a tough one. Again, Amari Spellman. Well, we've seen him take those a few times in the KBL in Korea. I tell you one thing I appreciate about Amari Spellman. If he's going to be guarded by Hernan Gomez, you're going to see him take him out to the perimeter quite a lot tonight, Shona.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He can knock down that three-point shot. He can create his own three-point shot off the dribble, but he can also drive to the basket.
Well, Willie pump fake. That's going to be a 24-second violation. And that's good defense by Lebanon. And, you know, in a game like this, it's a colossal David versus Goliath, if you think. But something like that, that is going to build confidence for Lebanon.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now, I think they've done a good job, you know, these first couple minutes of this game. Spain, typically known to be a very, very tough defensive team. Lebanon, they've had good looks, not turning the ball over. They're really handling the pressure well right now.
Spellman looking for a handoff. Finds Hayat, penetrates down. Oh, my goodness! Lebanon, Yakbiri! Are you kidding me? Yusuf Hayat. Now a foul's going to be called. Well, let me tell you something about Yusuf Hayat. The foul's called on Spellman, and he can't afford. But they used to say, well, there's a foul, of course. Well, I don't think that's on Amari Spellman, actually. But again, it used to be Ale Limoges. Right now, it's Lebanon Yakbiri. Yusuf Hayat. Shukran, my brother. What a big-time dunk. Of course, there was a lot of expectations after the Eurobasket when he did go back to the NBA to play for the New Orleans Pelicans. And, you know, it's great to see him play back here in Europe. He had a relatively good season in the ACB. Of course, he didn't finish as well as Barcelona wanted them to have done. But anytime you have a top player like Hernan Gomez playing for your national team, that's the beauty of basketball in my mind. Well, Khalil goes down the middle. Lebanon being aggressive, but the end product not there. Here comes Spain, leading by slender 1 point, but now Adalma for 3. Now Spellman. Spain, no, he likes to shoot the 3-pointer. Well, Spellman gets it, goes in, throws it down one hand, the big man. Oh.
And again, great patience, not intimidated by this pressure defensively for Lebanon right now. Few players scoring for them. They've had great looks, really.
Adalma going in the corner. Now looking to penetrate. Nowhere to go here. But now Sergio Llull, he'll fire up a 3. This one's up, and it's good. And that's crisp, smooth ball movement by Spain. Well, Hayder's made 1 for the mid-range. Nobody going in for an offensive rebound, though. Spain looking to extend their lead. And Shabby left wide open again. Well, let me tell you something. If they don't do something defensively, this could be a 3-point entourage here from Spain tonight.
Oh, you mentioned it. They're not offensive rebounding, but then you got to get back and you need to be able to defend this Spanish team because they are a threat from every position.
Well, nice take by Darwich. Many teams would come here and would roll over very quickly. But we're talking about Lebanon right now. We're talking about, as you mentioned, the team that almost won the FIBA Asia Cup in the summer of 2022. If you know anything about Lebanon, well, here's a replay of the 3-point. Good ball move from Spain. But going back to Lebanese basketball, if you're ever in Lebanon, make sure you go watch Sages versus Al Riyadi. As Spellman just reminds the crowd, they love their basketball in Beirut. Zeldawich missed the first free throw, who has been a regular for the Lebanese national team in various windows of the World Cup and Asia Cup qualifiers.
Well, he had a great tournament for them, averaging just under 12 points last year. A big reason why they're even playing in this tournament. As we know, Lebanon, they had 2 big wins at the end of the World Cup to even qualify for this event.
Well, Brown just playing with the defense, came off a double screen. And Shona, how do you defend that?
I mean, you know, the last time they helped off the shooters and Lorenzo Brown was able to find them. This time they didn't really help, and he just gets all the way to the basket.
Well, Spain forced a turnover. Adalma hesitates. Now he takes the 3. He's unable to get it, but Hernan Gomez battles. Shabby made his last one. Lebanon looking to go quickly here. Hyatt looking to take on, goes in. Well, goes for a second chance. Well, why not? You thought he was going to kick it out to Haider, but Yusuf Hyatt, the former Limoges player. Now Spain trying to wear it down. Hernan Gomez. And Omari Spellman's asking the question, Shona. I'm going to ask you as well. Could a potential travel have been called?
Well, I guess the referee is saying he traveled because of the foul that was committed on him, the push from behind the back, and the great offensive rebound. Just said he scored over 3 players there. Could have kicked it out.
Well, Karim Zainoun checks into the game, and a month ago he was phenomenal for Al Riyadi, winning the first Basketball Champions League Asia in Dubai. A huge fan favorite in Lebanese basketball. There's a Spain action pick and roll. Adalma goes baseline. Time winded down. Xavi's made a few 3s already. Can't get this one. But Lebanon again, giving up too many second chances. Hernan Gomez with a mismatch. Now we're under 10. Really goes in. Good help side defense by Spellman. And finally, Lebanon's able to come up with a loose ball. Only a 2-possession ball game. Khalil getting the switch. Finds Ezzedine. Probably could have gone for the first shot. Nowhere to go here, and a couple of options they could have had there, Shona, but in the end they went for the low percentage look. Oh, crisscross here by Lorenzo. Step back. Spain getting ready to make a change. Scariolo is going to bring in Juancho along with Brazuela. This is what Spellman wants. And they're going to call a blocking foul against Willie Hernan-Gomez. Now, you kind of like that one because the same thing could have been called down the other end. So I like that refereeing.
I think it's a good call by the referee. I think it's an even better offensive play by Spellman, just going straight at Willie Hernan-Gomez. Like you said, it's happening down on the other end, so you stay aggressive, draw your fouls on this end. And that's the matchup I really kind of want to see. And I think if, you know, Spellman is able to attack, you said it, he has championship pedigree.
Well, the first game, we talk about his NCAA championship, but the first time probably one of the best games of his career was in Japan, playing for Anyang KGC. 52 points against the Philippine Basketball Association's San Miguel Beermen. And I asked Spellman at the end of the game, why'd you keep taking so many threes? Well, they didn't respect the first one. He'll light it up. He will make every one you take. Brown just losing his balance, but he's able to recover. Good defense by Ezzedine. 6 seconds. Down to Willie goes in. Well, Lebanon, they did everything right, but in the end, leaving Big Willie wide open inside the paint. Just under 3 minutes here in the first quarter. Game 2 of game day 1 here at the FIBA OQT.
And how about this defense by Spain? They couldn't even get a pass into their offense.
Well, Spellman diving on the floor. They're able to recover it. Zainoun in the corner. That's not going to go. And quickly, Lorenzo up the court. Nobody running with him, though. Spellman's got one. Doesn't want to pick up another one. And that's just too easy, Shona. Currently a 6-point lead. And the referee's just halted the game because he's identified there is a slight wet spot on the floor, I believe, so they got to get that sorted out. While Rudy Fernandez checking into the game, but you know, Spellman there, it's crucial that I guess he doesn't do anything because he doesn't want to pick up that second foul. But what a pass by Brazuela. Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup because I feel Garuba, who currently now plays for the Golden State Warriors, as did Amari Spellman. That's probably a better defensive matchup in my mind for Spain. Well, you're going to hear a loud applause because checking into the game now, Juan Nunez, excuse me. Lorenzo Brown will take a breather, and the future is bright for this young man.
I think he had a lot of pressure on his shoulder last year at the World Cup. And, you know, a lot of people compared him to a young Ricky Rubio.
Well, Hyatt had the wide open three, was unable to knock it down. Nunez trying to go baseline. Garuba doesn't take many threes. Well, ice cold in the veins, straight off the bench. Why not? Hey, he plays for the Warriors.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do that if you play for Steve Kerr. 9-point lead currently to Spain. Zainoun trying to find Spellman. Foul's gonna be called against Juan Nunez now. Nunez just stuck his leg out there to stop, and let's have a look here. Well, I take that back. I think he tried to get into position. But look at the crisp. I mean, straight off the bench, ice cold. That's Bay Area all over it. Juan Nunez picking up his first personal foul of the game. 10 on the shot clock now for Lebanon. Spellman goes for his first three. This one's up. Unable to connect. And now Nunez. He'll use a screen from Garuba. And again, nice finish. Oh, showing the confidence early on.
Yeah, nice little floater. Left hand gets to the lane. He's the one who was left open.
Well, Lebanon needs to find some rhythm here in their offense. Hyatt going for an ISO. Wow. It's not the highest percentage it looks, but hey, if it counts at this stage. Under a minute left here in the first quarter. Spain going back to that pick and roll. Good show by Ezedi. Now Karim Zainoun diving on the floor, but Spain get it back. Brizuela penetrates, wraparound. Well, that one. The ball just slightly defying the laws of gravity on that play. Now Spellman goes for another three. This one's up a little too short. Well, Spellman having a few words of Ezedi there. Interesting. Five here for Nunez. Got to do something. Finds Juancho. The man was on fire in the final of the 2022 Eurobasket. But now Spellman will go from the half court. Oh my goodness! Omari Spellman just reminds the crowd. Spellman from downtown. I know someone else who made that shot yesterday, but Spellman right at the end of the first quarter. Shukran, my man. Big time three. That cuts it down to a 6-point ball game from the halfway line.
I mentioned it before the game. I think Spellman needed to come out aggressively, and that's exactly what he has been doing in this first quarter. He's going to have to play big minutes. He played that entire first quarter, 10 minutes. He has 9 points, 3 of 5, but he's just being aggressive, and I really like the intensity and energy he's playing with on both ends of the court.
Well, of course, passions will be flying right now. I mean, credit to Lebanon. As I mentioned, tough environment to come here to play against Spain. But to be down by only 6 points, hey, you're in there. You got to play together. But there seemed to be some miscommunication with the Lebanese players. But, you know, this is passions. You know what it's like. You're a two-time Olympian.
You know, it's passion. You're heated. Spur of the moment. You're going to say things that maybe you wouldn't say like that on a
well, now we're going to go look at some of the top
like
plays.
You would normally, but, you know, that's what you want to see. You would rather see passion and aggressiveness, and you know what? Maybe it'll fuel each other, and I hope during the timeout, you know, they say, hey, you know what? I got you. I understand what you were trying to say. Don't worry about it.
I mean, these are big moments here for players like Yusuf Hayed. As we mentioned, consistently represents the Lebanese national team. You know, one thing you got to compare about these two teams, Shona, the depth definitely is much bigger with the Spanish national team. I mean, you've got a plethora of players who play NBA, high-level European basketball. You know, the likes of Alberto Diaz, who just won the championship in the Basketball Champions League this year. But now Lebanon, they're going to have to try and defensively, two things. How to make it tough on the perimeter, but also how to prevent the points inside the paint. Well, there was a three-pointer, Omari Spellman. And again, just had a few kind words for the crowd. Well, Basel fans, use that QR code and download Courtside 1891 to get all the best international basketball. Courtside 1891, the home of FIBA basketball. Here comes the Spain action. Lebanon bringing in the Al Riyadi big three, Haik Yakchan and Ali Mansour. Now they go down low to Garuba. Garuba pump fakes, goes in. Oh, that's a big man's move.
Yeah, nice action there. Out of the break, as right now Lebanon, they have their two big men on the bench.
Well, Ali Mansour felt that Karim Zainoun was going to go backdoor. Costly turnover there for Lebanon. Well, you can see right now Spain with Fernandez, Brizuela, Hernan Gomez, Garuba, Nunez on the floor. And again, going to that Spain action, the Spanish pick and roll. Well, Rudy finds Brizuela. He can make these. Three is up, no good. And the follow-up is good by Garuba. Shona, you got to box out.
You got to box out. I think it was pretty well defended by Lebanon, but you got to finish the defensive play, and that finishes with a defensive rebound.
Mansell looks to penetrate. Nowhere to go. Gets rejected. Well, Garuba with the denial. And now Juancho, pump fakes. Back out to Rudy. Rudy will fire three. This one's up and again. Fifth tray ball for Spain is now Lebanon. They have to call timeout.
Well, nice start here in the second quarter. Coach Scariolo made some substitutions, and they have come in on fire. And this is why the Spanish team, in my opinion, is so dangerous because, like I said, every one of these 12 players could be starting the game. It doesn't matter who starts for this team. Their intensity, their level of basketball is never going to drop, and that's what good teams, and that's what Olympic-level teams do, and that's why Spain have been on the podium at the last few Olympic events.
Well, Spain currently shooting just under 50% from the perimeter. Only one three-pointer come from Lebanon, and that was Amari Spellman's half-court shot. But I mean, the ball movement is so crisp. And Hai Gokchan, as we mentioned, champion of the BCL Asia. But that's a tough matchup for him and Brizuela. Again, Garuba. Well, he is just relentless. You got to put a body on it right here. Just said to Ali Mansour, no en mi casa. Adios. Buenas noches. Goodbye. 10-point lead to Spain. Lebanon need to find something. As Mesha comes back in along with Sergio Darwich. Well, this is what Hai Gokchan can do. He can fire threes, but no foul given. Well, there's Juancho, misses first one, and again, he's unable to get it. But much better job by Lebanon, keeping Spain off the offensive rebounds. Spain's defense just so intense here at the moment, making the passes difficult. Gokchan got it by Fernandez. Not to force up a tough one. Well, guess what? It drops. Second three for Lebanon. If you're a player like Sergio Darwich, those are the shots that you got to keep going to, though, because at the moment, you can't run out of ideas, Shona.
No, and outside of Spellman, because they are missing, the MVP from the Asia Cup back in 2022, El Darwish, he needs to be a big-time contributor for them. He was their third leading scorer last year at the World Cup, and against a very, very strong defensive team, you actually kind of have to give what they take you as well, and you have to be able to make that. And I think El Darwish is the kind of player who can do that for Lebanon.
Of course, as you mentioned, no Wael Arakchi. Having a month ago led Al Riyadi to the BCL Asia Championship. They'll also be playing in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup as well. Ilias finding Fernandez. Good hands on defense. Lebanon just showing a little bit more grit here. Juancho puts up a tough one, can't get it. And Shona, that's a tough foul to give away because the shot clock was winding down, and in the end, you play good defense, but Juancho goes to the charity stripe.
Yeah, you mentioned it. You play defense, draws a foul with 0.5 seconds left in the shot clock. Nice heads-up play there by Juancho, though.
Just out of, thought for Lebanon. Offensively, they're going to have to work really hard. You got the double team recover. Is it worth at any point going into some kind of zone? 2-3, 3-2, 1-3-1? I mean, from your perspective, what could they change up defensively?
I mean, that's tough. Do you really go play zone against a Spanish team who are playing at home? So they're going to be more comfortable. They've been practicing in this gym for longer than any team here. They're playing in this tournament, obviously. you know, they're shooting 42%. They've already made 5 in the first quarter. I'm not sure if zone is really the way to go, but I agree with you. You got to change things up. Maybe, you know, on a make you go zone, on a miss you go man, just to kind of keep Spain on their toes.
Well, Hai Gökçen tried to go for the long one. Right idea, Sergio Darwish, and I like that from Lebanon. Trying to push the tempo, but unfortunately went into the accredited media zone. Just under 3 minutes played here in the second quarter. Yula goes for a 3 in the corner. Garuba, another offensive board. Fernandez pump fakes. Finds Garuba, look out below. Well, he's a coach's dream. He is just the ultimate elite role player on my mind. And I don't mean that with any discredit. Just he'll play any role in any team you put him on. Darwish looking for the ISO. Gökçen fakes a pass. Good defense now, they got numbers. But Yul's gonna take another one. Misses last, miss again. Goes out of bounds, took a last touch off Hernan Gomez. And Lebanon's gonna get that one back. Well, there's the no-look dive coming from Rudy. And Garuba with the strong finish. Of course, his younger brother last summer actually played for Spain's under-19s and won the World Championship in Debrecen, Hungary. So it's like a family tradition of great basketball players. And Hai Gökçen, he'll go to the bench. He'll take a breather for Lebanon. Measure in the backcourt along with Darwish. Spellman straight in the game off the bench. Good look, but it rolls its way out. He just finds Rudy Fernandez. He'll fire up a 3. Of course, with Spellman in the game, Spain's going to get less offensive rebounds. Lebanon trying to find ways to break down the Spanish defense. Hadidian is in the game. Big man does have a lot of force down low, but now time is winding down. Measure back to Hadidian, but good recovery defense by Fernandez, and it's another Lebanese turnover.
You know, they took care of the ball in the first quarter. They were able to handle the pressure. Right now, I think they're taking a little, maybe too long offensively. Against a good defensive team, you're not going to have a lot of good open looks, and you got to kind of take what they give you, especially if it's early in the shot clock.
Of course, you know, when you're without your best players, we already mentioned, that makes the task just so much more difficult. But no time to complain now. Lebanon's got to hang deep, trailing by 14. Yul finds Nunez. Goes up, and at the moment, Spain getting everything and anything they want here, Shona.
Yeah, I like how they're taking their time. They're not rushing it. They're playing unselfish. Doesn't matter who shoots for Spain.
Again, this is what they need here from Yusuf Hyatt. First quarter, we saw Lebanon, good spacing, get inside the paint. And now it's the second time Yusuf Hyatt's been able to get inside the paint and draw another foul. Spain will argue with this that it should be an offensive foul, but I think it's good play by Yusuf Hyatt. Santi Adalma just knocking down the 10-foot mid-range. As now Fernandez will go to the bench. He'll take a breather. It looks like a timeout's going to be called here by Coach Scariolo. He wants to talk this one over. His team currently lead by 16 points, 37-21 against Lebanon. Well, 5:12 to go here in the first half. We're going to go and listen to what Scariolo has to say. Let's listen up.
Y podemos jugar todas las transiciones rápidas, incluido 25. Uno arriba, uno lado, lo podemos jugar. Los cuernos, lo podemos jugar. Situaciones rápidas.
Sergio Scariolo, he likes to do that. He really likes to play his players depending on the matchup that they're facing. So, you know, throughout a tournament, you might see a player play 8-9 minutes, and all of a sudden one game, it could be the championship game for him, and they're going to play 20 in that game just because of the matchup in front of them. And what I love is that, you know, the brothers of Spain, they know that. They know this is the way that he works, and obviously it's been successful, so he's going to continue to do that. And, you know, against Angola, maybe it'll be a completely different lineup that we see play more minutes.
Well, Hyatt's unable to hit the second free throw. Adama goes inside the paint. Finds Juancho. Well, there's another mismatch inside the post. But again, the follow-up, and same story for Lebanon. Defensively, they get it right, but too many second chance points falling for Spain. Biggest lead of the game so far. Darwish pump fakes. Nice penetration, and again, this time Hadidian. Well, we haven't seen him for Lebanon for quite a while, but in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, he was prominent. Lebanon trying to switch everything defensively. Now Spain with time to run it down. Jaime Perdilla kicks out, finds Juancho. Again, struggling with his three-point shot. Darwish goes baseline, goes in. Now, did he step out of? Yeah, I think he did. Well, he's got the right mindset. I mean, you're trying to get to the bucket, but these kind of turnovers, you just can't afford to make it this level. Well, Juancho's going to leave the game.
Well, he actually asked to come out as well, so.
I think he pulled onto his, I don't know if it was a groin injury or something, but Xabi Lopez Arostigi's coming in, and also Alberto Diaz, man who won the Basketball Champions League with Unicaja this season in Belgrade. As Lebanon going to his own defense. Patient passing. Lopez fires up. That's simply automatic. Maybe the zone wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think this is why you can't really play zone against the Spanish team. Right now, they have 5 players on the floor who can shoot threes.
Well, Spellman penetrates. Nice pass. Finds Hadidian with the wraparound. That's much better from Lebanon. Again, Lebanon staying. It looks like it's a 2-3 zone they're going to play here. Well, they force the turnover. And in the end, Xabi Lopez Arostegui picks up the foul. Now, if you do play this zone defense, I mean, you've got to be active. You got to
be active. You got to be there when players catch the ball. You also have to slow down the reversal pass. You know, that last possession where you see this three-point shot, they easily reverse the ball from one side of the court to the other. You can't recover in that amount of time. The ball moves faster than people's feet do, right? So you have to slow down the passes so you can get there defensively.
Well, a timeout's going to be called. These two teams will talk it over. And now we're going to go listen.
I said no line. One we can call, please. Coach me now. Please. Spellman, Ford, Giro, change screen, Easto for Spellman. Okay. This is me. Yes.
This is nice.
Second. This is me. Second. Our line. If Omar is here, watch it. Omar, Giro. We change your side, okay? Or doesn't matter.
That's what?
Line, our line. I'm talking now about our line. Every time this big, this exit screen is working, guys. I'm allowed to do that.
Well, currently Spain lead by 16 points. Mari Spellman trying to get back in the game here to give Lebanon something inside the paint, but Garuba coming off the bench. Good minutes so far by the man who plays for the Golden State Warriors. Well, here's where we're going to see Alberto Diaz try to get up in the face of the Lebanese backcourt. I mean, he will pick you up 94 feet. Spellman sets a hard screen. Now they go down. Find Yusuf Hyatt. He's made 1 3, puts this one up. It's a good look, but he's unable to make it. And here comes the Spanish transition. Pradilla's trying to post up. Oh, what a pass. Finds a Delma. Oh, that is simply B-E-A. Beautiful basketball. Sublime dime. Spellman heavily defended. Finds Dowich. Oh, gets rejected. Santia Dalma just gave a polite reminder to Sergio Dowich. Not in my house. Tu no eres bienvenido. Not welcome here in Valencia. Look at this, though. That's a sublime dime.
I think he even surprised Aldama on that, but look at this heads-up play. He knew that the help side was going to have to come. He turns away from it, so no one knows where he was passing, and then just an easy 2-point bucket for Aldama.
Well, that is a nightmare for Lebanon because the turnover then leads to, it's not deliberate, but it's a reaction foul. Unfortunately, it's the right call. It's an unsportsmanlike.
No, it's the right call. I mean, you know, I don't think it was incredibly intentional. Spellman a little bit frustrated, trying to make maybe a play on the ball.
Well, Mari Spellman has been an absolute superstar in the Korean Basketball League. Of course, has featured for Lebanon before. Of course, no doubt, these two teams in the same group as the great Angola, the kings of African basketball for so many generations. But you know, both Angola and Lebanon, respect to both of them, great basketball countries. But when you're up against Spain, ranked #2 in the world.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they're ranked #2 in the world. And, okay, so they had a tough World Cup last year. They started that World Cup 3-0, and then they just lost to Latvia, who had the tournament of their lives. And then they lost to Canada, who finished with a bronze medal and a star-studded NBA team for Canada. So, you know, they were in a tough group. They had a tough crossover. And there's a reason why Spain has medaled, you know, at the last 3 or so, not quite 3 Olympics, but, I mean, they're that good. Yeah, they had a changeover. You know, the Gasol brothers retired. Let's not forget La Bamba, Juan Carlos Navarro. I was a big fan of Serge Ibaka and what he did, and I think it'll take these guys a little bit more time, but they know how to win. They still know how to win. You have a player like Rudy Fernandez who could possibly become the first men's or women's player ever to play in 6 Olympics, minus Diana Taurasi, who was already on that roster for the United States, who will also be playing in her 6 Olympics. So, you know, they passed down the torch, but there's still people around to help this younger generation who are coming up from Spain.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, it's a progression that just keeps on going into the future. You plan now for the future, of course, but Santia Dalma with 2 big plays on the end of the floor. And Oski tries to put up a tough one. Hyatt gets a rebound. Lebanon down by 20, needs something. Hyatt goes in. Well, good defense by Lorenzo Brown. Spain looking to further extend. The foul is going to be called on the ground, so and that's going to be Lebanon's final team foul here in the first half with 51.2 seconds left.
I also, sorry, yeah, just watching this Spanish team play compared to last summer's roster at the World Cup. There's a lot of these men were on that team. If they weren't on that team, they were in that team in 2022 when they won the Eurobasket gold. They look different. They look healthy. They're moving better. I'm talking about a Sergio Yul, Rudy Fernandez. You know, Aldama. He's progressed. He's improved. He's still young. Garuba. You know, these are still young players, but they look more connected, I think, than they did last summer.
Well, Dalma made his last 3. As Yusuf Hyatt happily to let that one roll out of bounds. 40.9 left. I'm going to ask the most obnoxious question. Can Lebanon go 2 for 1?
I think they can. Can they make 2 for 1? Oh, no, they're going to take their time here.
Well, Hyatt goes for a quick 3. There's the first one. Now we're going to have 3 seconds difference. Well, they want to go to Lorenzo Brown. Scariolo calling Diaz to go for the handoff. Here comes the Spain action. Brown looking for the ISO. Down the middle. Finds Diaz. Doesn't take many threes. Every time I say that, someone knocks it down. And now Haida won't get it off in time. And that is the end of the first half. But currently, Spain lead this one against Lebanon, 51-31 in the second game of game day 1 here at the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament here in Valencia. Well, you know, credit to Lebanon. They started well in the first quarter, but it's all about depth and quality. And it's very hard to compare against, as we mentioned, the #2 ranked team in the world. You mentioned last summer at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, very disappointing end. But Spain, they're expected to get to the Olympics.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, you know, heading into this tournament, I think both you and I would have said, well, yeah, it should be Spain with the talent and experience that they have. But at the same time, I mean, you expect Lebanon to be able to play with anyone, at least for the first 10 minutes. Problem with Spain, and which I think we're going to see as this tournament goes on as well, they wind people down because their intensity never dips depending on who's in the game. If not, sometimes it comes up with, you know, you see the likes of a Diaz, who's known as a defender, doesn't get a ton of minutes, but when he comes in, he still changes the game for Spain in a little bit different way. So they're tough. I mean, it's very tough to defend 12 high caliber players.
Now, you look at this matchup between Willy Hernan Gomez, currently plays here in the Spanish ACB, and Amari Spellman, who plays in the Korean Basketball League. I would look at this matchup and say, listen, Willy's defensively going to struggle against Amari Spellman, and we've seen that with Scariolo. He's had to bring in Garuba. He's also had to have Santi Adalma guard him. But you know what? Credit to how Spain have played. They've been tough. But now we're going to look at the top plays here from the first half. Of course, Dario Beduela going for the three, but, you know, Lebanon may have had their last donut, and nobody called box out because Garuba just went in for the follow-up. That has got to be a talking point at halftime.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned it. What are they going to do defensively, Lebanon? Should they go into a zone? Well, in the first half, if you already have 7 different Spanish players knock down a three-point shot, how can you really play zone? I mean, this is a team maybe outside of Willy Hernan Gomez who won't shoot the three. The rest of them are not going to hesitate if they're at the three-point line. Obviously, you know, I think offensively, Lebanon only scored 13 points, and you got to give credit where credit's due. That is because of the Spanish defense. And, you know, it's tough. Yeah, Spellman, he played 10 minutes first quarter, 7 minutes the second quarter. He has 9 points. You got to get him the ball, but it has to be a little bit more than just him and Hayat scoring for Lebanon. I think, you know, we've seen El Darwish have a couple good looks. He's got to be more aggressive. He needs to take a little bit more responsibility. I think Ali Hadar played very limited minutes. He started, and then I thought he played well in his minutes that he started, and then he sat on the bench till the last minute or two of that second quarter. So not really sure what's going on there. And then this is, you know, you're down 19 at half. Is this like some tactical things that you have to think about also moving on in this tournament? Okay, we're going to lose. Should we think about the future?
Well, basketball fans, it is halftime, so we advise you go get a drink, go get something to eat, but don't go anywhere too long, as we will be back in just under 12 minutes for the second half of this FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament matchup between Spain and Lebanon. We'll see you soon momentarily.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they'd do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Nice play, finds Wenke. Gabriel and the king of South Sudan again with the rim rocker. Juba Airlines one more time.
Schroeder gets in. He goes fast. I don't think they were ready for that. And the blinding speed of Dennis Schroeder.
Holding on, he'll give it to his buddy. What a knob! Remember the name. Doncic hits Horvat. No, it's blocked. Exum there on the read. Mills, extra pass, gives it to the guy with the big block.
Well, he does it with the spectacular save at one end, and then trailing down, Patty Mills finds him for the two-hand stuff.
Petrusev gets in for the dunk. What a great move. Shea turns. Alexander Walker goes in for the rim rocker. Schroeder goes downhill, gets it to the corner. Franz Wagner gets in. A little bit of elevation. Oh, Cressida, what are you doing? And the alley-oop! And Banchero this time does not lay it up. He scores right at the end of the third quarter buzzer.
What do you call this?
Between the legs, alley-oop pass.
Yes! I love it, Jeff. Yes!
I'm sure you can have something better.
Find it, Bogdanovic. Turnaround, quick shot, takes it. Bogdanovic! Troika, Troika, Troika! Well, coach, it may be Troika time. He's made the three-pointer. Then going into the halftime break with a 2-point lead.
Oh, a good miss. The USA got it! Bridges from the corner! You have got to be kidding me! Unbelievable! A play for the ages at the FIBA Basketball World Cup! Bridges does the unthinkable, ties the game.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back, international basketball fans. We're live here in Valencia for the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament, the second game of game day one here between Spain and Lebanon. Where currently Spain have been very dominant. They've been excellent, leading by 20 points, 51-31. I am your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside two-time Olympic basketball player Shona Thurborn. And Shona, you know, when we reflect on the first half, nobody can deny the fact that Lebanon, they're giving everything they've got. But we're talking about, as we mentioned, the #2 ranked team in the world in Spain. I mean, it's tough. But, you know, for Lebanon, you've got to find positives in this game as you go into your next matchup against, you know, who's also a very good team in Angola, one of the best in FIBA Africa.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, win or lose, the tournament's not over on the first game of the tournament. So, yeah, they're going to have to bounce back. You know, I'd like to see them improve in the second half because I think that's also a sign of, are they able to improve as the tournament goes on? And, you know, right now they've dug themselves a little bit of a hole. It's not the end of the world, but can they make improvements? Because they are going to have to get a win over Angola if they want to keep their chances alive for qualifying for the Olympics.
You know, a big positive here for Lebanon. Young 21-year-old Yusuf Hayat, who, you know, did play a bit of brief professional basketball in France with some very big teams, Limoges being one of them. He is their top scorer. And, you know, you look at the development of Lebanese basketball, the culture they have, especially with the two top clubs of Serges and Al Riyadi. It's all about building for the future. And as I mentioned, finding positives within this game. For Spain, it's business as usual. Garuba currently playing in the NBA, Adama as well. The Hernan Gomez brothers leaving the NBA to come back to Europe. And we have an update on Juancho Hernan Gomez. Well, Juancho, we believe, has picked up a minor injury. We're not quite sure the extent of that injury, but we will keep you updated on that one to see how that progresses. You know, Garuba, for me, he is the ultimate glue player. He is a coach's dream because he's the kind of player that plays any role on any team. And right now for Scariolo, he's doing that role to perfection, Shona.
I mean, it's kind of what you expect. And I just think Scariolo has so much respect from his players, from the entire basketball community. I mean, he's one of the best coaches, if not the best coach still coaching almost in FIBA history, in my opinion. But he just, I think the Spanish players know their roles. And they're also very comfortable with their roles, and they accept their roles. And, you know, they're happy to play them because they know this is what's going to give them the best chance here qualifying, but also the best chance for hopefully medaling at the Olympics if they do qualify. And it just comes down to leadership. And, you know, they have leadership from the top with the coaching staff, and then it also trickles down from, you know, the captains, the veterans, and, you know, even the players. They know their roles and they know who to follow, and everyone's ready. It's next man up for the Spanish team, and they're just so talented 1 through 12.
And of course, Lebanon, they've never featured at the Basketball Olympics. They've won the FIBA Asia Cup. Well, excuse me, no. 4 times they've been silver medalists, making it to finals of the FIBA Asia Cup. Of course, if you look at the history of Lebanese basketball, and as I mentioned, these two teams met just under 14 years ago, and one of the greatest players in the history of Lebanese basketball, Fadi El Khatib, also known as the Lebanese Tiger. I mean, he was just a phenomenal player. He played in that game when these two teams met in 2010, but what's interesting, I mean, it just shows you how time flies. Both Sergio Yul and Rudy Fernandez played that matchup. I think I was still in university at that time. They've aged well. I don't think I've aged too well.
And, you know, I mean, it just shows you how talented those players are, to Sergio Yul, Rudy Fernandez, to be playing at this level for as many years as they have been doing it. And, you know, both of them have suffered injuries. They've had surgeries. They've bounced back. It's not just about them being talented. It's also about their commitment.
Well, Spain's going to return to the floor now with Santi Adama, along with Willy Hernan Gomez, Lorenzo Brown, Xabi Lopez Arostegui, and the legendary Sergio Yul. Of course, a big fan favorite with the Berserkers back in the capital of this beautiful country. Off of Lebanon, we're going to see Sergio Dawich back in the lineup as well. Yusuf Hayat, who, you know, we have seen has been their best player. Now, you mentioned Hayat didn't feature much in the second quarter, but he's coming back to play the center role, I believe, because he's going to defensively match up here with Hernan Gomez. But Amari Spellman, they're going to need him big. Lebanon getting the first possession here in the second half. Darwish now looking for Spellman. Guided by Adalma. Well, Spellman bumps, goes for fadeaway, and that's his bread and butter. Well, he has such a high release, it's almost impossible to block him.
And what I like there is, you know, the matchup is Aldama, and Spellman says, okay, I need to go inside and I need to post him up at the short corner. When he was going against Willie Hernan-Gomez, he says, okay, I need to pull Willie out and try to take him off with my speed from the outside.
Well, great job by Spellman, keeping Hernan-Gomez off the offensive rebounds. But can Lebanon go on a 4-0, maybe 5-0 run? Khalil nowhere to go. Now Spellman, guided by Lorenzo Brown. In the lane, draws a foul. Looking more confident here in the second half. Sean, I like the execution here by Lebanon, getting the switch on defense, the mismatch, Brown against Spellman, and taking advantage of that quickly. But, you know, this move right here, this is what you see him do in the Korean Basketball League. Bump, fade away. Of course, this season in the Korean Basketball League, Amari Spellman's team and KGC were unable to win the championship. They had a great rivalry with SK Seoul Knights. Of course, one Jamil Warney. The two of them are very good friends, but, you know, he was an MVP of the 2017 FIBA AmeriCup, and they go to battle for the biggest matchup in Korea. Brown finding Yul. Coming off one screen. Good defense. Goes out of bounds, and, you know, we talked about this. Finding positives, trying to build on this here for Lebanon. $16 points of difference. Lebanon going on a 4-0 run. Khalil trying to orchestrate things here in the backcourt. Again, they go to Spellman. Spellman guarded by Adalma. Goes for a tough one, mid-range. Lebanon get an offensive rebound, but they're unable to finish. But battling for second chances. Well, Khalil left wide open. Why not? Takes it. It's a good look, though.
Yeah, it's a great look, and it's, you know, one of those shots when you're going against Spain, you're not going to have a more open look than that.
And now Yul fires a three, goes up, and again punishes Lebanon's defense. So many three-point options here for Spain. High at top of the key, he'll fire another one, and that's a good response. 21 years old, University of Michigan, and oh my goodness, you better watch out. Santi Adalma is coming to town. The elevation. That just went from one end to the other there. I mean, Memphis Grizzly fans, Santi Adalma has arrived.
You know, just when you felt like Lebanon were making a little bit of a run, you give up a basket like that, and that's just miscommunication. You're not. It was off of a made basket. You got to get back. You got to find your defender. You can't have an easy full court pass like that from Lorenzo Brown to Aldama.
No empieza. Estás jugando bien, estás haciendo todo. Sigue haciendo lo tuyo, con dureza, con fuerza. No vamos a engañar a nadie. Ya nos hemos engañado todos. No podemos más. Ahora que jugamos duro y cogemos los rebotes y corremos. ¿Vale? Play hard. Don't let them come back. Go. Venga, vamos. 1, 2, 3.
Well, again, here's a look at the replay. I told you better watch out. You better not cry, because Santi Adalma, he has arrived here in Valencia. That's harder than it looks, you know.
It is a lot harder than it looks. If you ever done that? Back in your day?
Back in my day, are we talking 40 years ago? How dare you? Listen, I could probably make a left-handed layup if I was lucky. Well, Darwich now will inbound this. Lebanon need to get open. Heide got it by Hernan Gomez. Finds Spellman. Now they go down low. Goes a tough fadeaway, and that's going to be a tough matchup. But now here comes Lorenzo Brown. Brown pulls up, and that's textbook Lorenzo Brown playing transition. That was something he was phenomenal in the Eurobasket. End-to-end, pulls up from 15.
Yeah, you mentioned it, I think, at the beginning of the game, how he's a lot more talented in that mid-range game.
Oh, Darwich now has the ball in his hands. Finds Spellman. Spellman down the middle, almost loses it. No foul call, but in the end, he's unable to finish. The foul's going to be called against Yusuf Hyatt. Now, Hernan Gomez is trying to say he's in the process of shooting. Does he have a case, or is that wishful thinking?
Absolutely not.
You can't blame him for trying, though.
No.
Unfortunately,
kind of a veteran move there.
Our referees are too good for that one.
Yeah.
Just over 6.5. Brown finds Sergio Yule. Good passing. And down the pump fakes. Lines up for three. And again, beautifully tucks it away.
And I talked a little bit in the first half. I think Santiago Aldama, you know, he had a good World Cup. But I think Coach Scariolo didn't have maybe as much confidence as he has in him now this year. You know, he wasn't starting. I can see him starting for this Spanish team, moving on in this tournament and in the Paris Olympics if they qualify. And also just the production that he had. He played more minutes this year with the Memphis Grizzlies. He scored more points, he got more touches, and it's paying dividends right now for him and the Spanish team.
Well, good closeout by Spellman. Wow, Hernan Gomez maybe just put a bit too much on it, but you know, in the previous play, this is good for Lebanon. Yusuf Hyatt, 21 years old, the Wolverine. That's the second three here in the third quarter. You got to build on this because you are potentially going to be the player that's going to be the future face of this national team.
Yeah.
Of course, came from the academy of the infamous CSP Limoges, one of the most historic teams in European basketball. Heide penetrates. Again, Dalma, good hands. And now Spain looking to capitalize. In the corner, finds Yule. Yule fires a three. And the end is finished now. There seems to be a coming together. Santi Dalma, just out of camera at the moment, a coming together with Heide. Well, here's a three-pointer by Sergio Yule. But it's plays like that, Jonah, when you're trying to build confidence, you've got to stop giving away so many, what do you want to call them, free lunches, easy tickets?
Listen! Every time when we do something different. Okay, let's do one. Let's do it. We must pass to the second half. Okay, we go now. Ali change. Great job. Let's Ali will I'm in the open shot. I'm a two down with Karim. No, I'm until end, play. I'm over 50-40. Until end. Stay here. No, hey, continue. Nothing. Pass down and lock down. But continue. Hey, 2 fouls. No score. They cannot score. Go, 5 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the timeout was called by Lebanon. Spanish fans enjoying the occasion. Well, here was the coming together. I don't think Heide has done anything malicious there, but of course Santi Dalma was disappointed. But yeah, great job by our referee Martis Kozlovskis from Latvia, stepping in right away, calming things down. And this is one thing our referees don't get enough credit for. When the emotions are reigning high and they flare, our officials, they're quick to get right in the middle and say, hey, come on, this is basketball, you're both great, let's get on with it. Ali Mansour of Al Riyadi checking back into the game for Lebanon, as is Ezzedine and Karim Zainoun. Now we're under 10 on the shot clock. Spellman got it by Hernan Gomez. Trying to ISO. Pulls up under pressure. Oh, that's a good look, but Ezzedine pump fakes. He'll go in. And there you go. Second chance points. You've got to build on that. You also have to play transition defense.
You know, especially after a made basket. That's the second time now Aldama has had an opportunity to score after a basket because they don't get back and defend.
Well, especially when you're up against the second-ranked best team in the world. As we said, you make mistakes, turnovers, they'll make you pay. But I've said this before, you get things right, like in this case, they'll still make you pay. They get the ball up the floor so quickly, and you mentioned this, Shona. Nobody over-dribbles the ball. It's all pass, move, get open.
17 assists already for this Spanish team compared to only 9 for Lebanon. And it just shows you, I mean, it shows you that everyone on their team can score, but they're also unselfish. There's no one saying, you know what, I have to be the player who's going to score the most tonight. They really don't care. The only thing that they care about is trying to qualify for the Olympics.
Well, Yusuf Hayat currently on the bench for Lebanon. Spellman's second top scorer. Nice penetration by Karim Zainoun, but unfortunately good hands on defense. Well, if you had a chance to watch the Basketball Champions League Asia, I mean, he was phenomenal. You know, when he plays in that backcourt with Wayal Arakji, I mean, they are a tandem. They're so tough to break down, but without Arakji now, a lot of pressure's put on Karim Zainoun. A 23-point lead to Spain. Hernan Gomez down the middle. Good recovery defense by Spellman. And now, can Lebanon push? 5 Spanish players getting back, only 2 Lebanese players. This is what Zainoun likes to do. Just a little too short.
That's a good look by Lebanon, though. And again, we said it, you know, you're not going to have a lot of open looks. If you're not able to put the ball in the basket, it's going to be a difficult night against this Spanish defense.
Zainoun comes up with a rebound. Yeah, one thing you want to try and work on, can you get transition buckets? Because that's going to be key in the matchup between Lebanon and Angola, respectfully. Ezzedine spinning around, but in the end loses the ball. It's quite a twist, quite a turn. What's that, the old Shaquille O'Neal-esque spin-out baseline?
Yeah, just forgot the ball. The ball was a little bit quicker than the body.
It happens.
It does.
Under 4 minutes left here in the third. Brown kicks out to Yul. Spain moving the ball around. Patient passing here. There's the pump fake. And now Fernandez, time winding down, gets fouled. Well, he's going to go to the free throw line here for 3 shots. Foul is on Karim Zainoun. They have a little dispute about the decision, but let's have a look at the replay.
I think he might have high-fived him on that closeout.
Who wouldn't want to high-five him?
You're a legend.
Well, go back to the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Rudy Fernandez, that final against the USA. I mean, at points, he was single-handedly carrying Spain, keeping them in that game. And if you watch that documentary on Netflix, The Redeem Team, they talk about how tough Spain were in that final, and it became a common theme. Could Spain eventually knock down the United States? We didn't get to see it in the 2019 World Cup when Spain won it, of course, but who knows? We could see it again, maybe, just maybe in Paris. Biggest lead now for Spain, 26. Nice penetration by Ali Mansour. The blocking foul is going to be called against Rudy Fernandez. Looks like it coming together. Both players look like they're in some form of discomfort.
A little bit of a knee-to-knee action, shin to knee.
Well, Ali Mansour, a big fan favorite back in Beirut. Of course, wasn't able to play for Al Riyadi at the Basketball Champions League Asia in Dubai, but I mean, he was there, and the fans everywhere he goes. I mean, have you ever been to Beirut?
I have not.
Beautiful city, just an absolute paradise, immaculate city, and they love their basketball there. You go into any restaurant, Lebanese fans, they know everything. They know the basketball in Asia, they know it in the Gulf of Asia, they know it in Europe, they know it in the NBA. It's a basketball country.
Yeah.
Well, Mansour makes a second free throw, cutting it down to a 25-point ball game. 3:17 to go here in the third quarter. Brown makes a pass, and Ezzedin's getting a call for the foul. That's going to be the fourth and final team foul against Lebanon here in the third. Yo, Shoni, you talk about the introduction to Lorenzo Brown to the Spanish national team. It's not that he single-handedly in 2022 led them to the championship. It was almost like the missing piece of the puzzle that they desperately needed. I mean, Ricky Rubio wasn't available due to injury. Sergio Rodriguez wasn't available. They needed that facilitator.
No, they really did, and I think, you know, that was a good player to go after, to naturalize, and obviously it played dividends. And I really think if they had had him last year, not that Juan Yunez didn't play well for them, but, you know, they're different caliber players right now. Do I think Juan Yunez could get there? Absolutely, but they were missing, you know, a point guard to help run their offense. And that's exactly what Lorenzo Brown does for this team. And it's great to see him back in a Spanish jersey, to be honest.
Well, Alberto Diaz has just checked into the game. And if you see this man week in, week out, whether it's in the ACB, whether it's in the Basketball Champions League, in my mind, he's a top 10 ball defender here in Europe. He's up in your face. In this case, he makes the passes difficult. Always has a hand in the passing lane. Well, Lebanon have put Spain in the penalty, so Jaime Pradilla, who was a part of that Eurobasket championship team, winning against France in Berlin. That was a great final, too. The old narrative, Spain versus France. We always hear it in the Eurobasket. Again, could we see it again in Paris, in France? Maybe, just maybe. Although Vincent Collet will probably want to change the narrative, though, if that happens.
Yeah, there's a great article on the FIBA website you should go check out of Sergio Scariolo talking about, you know, some of his highlights. And one of them, you know, he talks about beating France and how Pau Gasol just took over and dominated the best defensive player in the NBA, Rudy Gobert.
Well, I think Lebanon's asking the question, should have been an +1. Well, I think that's the right call because the foul was made before he got into his 1-2 step. Oh, they counted? I don't know. They called it on the ground. That's always a tough one, isn't it? When you get fouled, but you think you're in your 1-2 step. Mansour got it by Diaz. Down the middle, trying to find Ezzedin, but again, good defense by Alberto Diaz. Garuba also checking back in, along with Brazuela. Good recovery defense by Ali Mansour. Now, can Lebanon get something here? Well, Haik Gökçen is wide open, but they don't get the ball to him. Lebanon at this point improvising. Here comes Pradilla. Tries to fake it. Good recovery by Ezzedin. Spain will patiently take their time. Under 2 minutes left here in the third. 29-point lead of Spain. Finds Brazuela. Brazuela goes in, changes hands, but another offensive rebound. And here comes Rudy from downtown, and again, he'll beautifully tuck that one away. Well, Shona, Spain just going through the motions at this point.
Yeah, I thought that at the beginning of that third quarter, out of halftime, that Lebanon came out with a little bit of a spark. They wanted to prove themselves. They wanted to make some adjustments, changes. I thought they did a good job. And again, what Spain typically does to teams is they just wear you down. Yeah, maybe you'll have a good 2-3 minutes against them.
Garuba tries to go in for a Euro step. He's able to recover. Hai Gyokchan trying to stand strong. Good defense by Hai Gyokchan. Interesting story about Hai Gyokchan. Moved to Lebanon after being born in Armenia. Played NCAA Division III basketball after moving to the United States. Ali Mansour trying to go at Spain's defense. Now he's got it by Pradilla. Well, they try to go down low to Hai Gyokchan, but again, the help side defense, too much to handle. Well, Brizuela trying to drill this one down. 3 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Finds Garuba, goes in, and again, easily tucked away. It's now Gyokchan, double clutches. Well, that is the end of the third quarter, and at the moment, Spain running away with this one here in game two of the game day one, excuse me, of the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments. Well, Lebanon started the second half strong, but they just weighed down towards the end.
Yeah, you know, I thought they made some adjustments defensively, offensively. As soon as, the thing with Lebanon though, as soon as you take out Spellman, and it's very difficult to play 40 minutes at this level. So, you know, Spellman needs to go out, he needs to have rest. And at the same time, you know, you're missing one of your best players for Lebanon. And you're going up against the #2 team in the world. You got to find ways to score, but you also need to defend. And right now, you know, I think you have to start to think about the future. You have tomorrow off, but you're going to be playing Angola after that. It's a must-win game, Lebanon, Angola. So when I say you need to think about the future, do you think about, all right, do we start to rest some players, or do we also start to, you know what, if we can score and get stops against Spain, we can do that against Angola.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, that game against Angola, respectfully, that's probably going to decide who finishes second, of course. And that's not taking anything away from both Lebanon and Angola. I mean, that's just the reality of going up against a second-ranked team. I mean, I keep saying this, but that is the facts.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, there are positives in this game that Lebanon can't take away. You've got a great post player, a stretch four in the likes of Amari Spellman. Yusuf Hayat, now he's going to come back in for the fourth quarter. But, you know, I think one thing, personally, in my opinion, they've got to try to work on here in the fourth quarter, keep Spain off as many second chance points as possible. Because you know Angola's going to go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Spanish fans loving the occasion here in beautiful Valencia. One of the 4 tournaments here at the FIBA Olympic qualifiers. The other 3 tournaments held in San Juan and Puerto Rico, Riga, Latvia, and Athens, Greece. Sergio Dawic getting called for the first foul here in the fourth quarter. Brizuela curls the screen. Good defense. But can Lebanon push? Getting transition buckets. Something they've got to try to work on. Well, Yusuf Hayat doing good work there, drawing the foul against Alberto Diaz. Hayat going handoff. Trying to find Halil. Spellman, top of the key, got it by Garuba. Finds the 3, but that one won't drop. But Lebanon battling, but it goes out of bounds. And Spain will regain possession. So there you can see Yusuf Hayat just going in for the second chance, but now they're going to have to defend again. Trailing by 34. Now we're at the 10 of the shot clock. Brizuela going back to that pick and roll. Well, he can make these. A little bit quiet time for Dario Brizuela from the perimeter.
Yeah, 0 for 5, 0 for 3 from 3-point range, excuse me.
Dawic got it by Diaz. Now looking for the ISO. ISO taken, that's much better. Yo, Diaz going to get in your face. Go right at him. Well, a positive note for Lebanon. Can they try to have some momentum here in the fourth quarter they can take away? 5 here on the shot clock. Garuba finds Rudy. Now he'll have to force up a Hail Mary three. And now a chance for Lebanon to try to push this, but nobody running here. Ryder gets a seal off. Lebanon's going to secure the ball. Now, yo, is it a part of Lebanon's game that we're not going to see much transition buckets? Because I feel there's points in this game they could try to get ahead a lot quicker.
You know, that being said, they're going up against a Spanish team that, yeah, they offensive rebound, but they also know who's supposed to get back when a shot does go up.
Well, Spellman battling there against Garuba, but that goes out of bounds. Spain will get it back. Well, he has a Boyd there, but Garuba has kind of slightly given him a push out of bounds. But, yo, Shona, this is interesting here for Spain because you have a monumental lead. You know, we don't know about Juancho at the moment. He has an injury, he's on the bench, but yo, if you are Spain, what do you work on right now?
I mean, I think right now, well, in this offensive possession, it's going to be your zone offense. But no, you know, I think it's just becoming comfortable, working on your sets. They had two, what was it? They had 2 exhibition games leading up to this tournament. It's not a lot. And, you know, it's time together. I mean, this team, yeah, they have a lot of experience. They played a lot of games together, but this isn't the team that was there last year. This wasn't the exact team that was there back in 2022. So it's getting, you know, yeah, they know each other, but it's also getting comfortable playing with each other, which is really important.
Well, Brizuela made his last 3 in the corner. May have had his, no, he goes for another one. A deja vu moment. Run and gun transition 3-point basketball coming from España. And the big guns are on the bench. It's now a 38-point deficit here at the moment. Hyder looks to attack. Nice penetration bumps, but just doesn't get the right angle. And here comes Adalma. Brizuela finds Garuba.
Oh, what a tough move there by Garuba. Taking the contact. Or forcing the contact, I guess you could say.
Well, I'm just wondering if Hyder is okay. He took a shot to the sternum. Hey, it's a physical game. Eldawich finds Spellman. Again, Spanish defenders everywhere. Yusuf Hyatt goes up. Wow, I think the block may have just made the bucket go in, but that's 18 points here for the young man. Well, Adalma looking like Jorge Garbajosa. I mean, he caught that above his head and didn't bring it down. Dawich finds Hyatt, goes in. Oh, baby! 20 points for Yusuf Hyatt. And he just gives a polite reminder to Rudy Fernandez. I just put you on a poster. I don't think Rudy appreciated that one, Shona. Well, good hands by Hyder. And there is Juancho. Again, it's unknown about his status, but well, here again, look at the replay. Lebanon Yakbiri, Yusuf Hyatt, Duncan throws that one down. There was the gentleman's disagreement, I'd say. Well, Fernandez, along with Alberto Diaz, are going to go to the bench. This Juan Nunez coming back in along with Xabi Lopez Arostegui. Dalma's made a few threes tonight. A little bit short on that one. 5:30 just above here in the fourth quarter. Remember, both these two teams will be in action against Angola as Eldawich step back. Well, it looked like it came off Garuma, but let's have a look at the replay.
Well, he turned to a coach and he said, hey, use your challenge. It didn't go off me.
Well, Lebanon stay in his own defense. Brizuela's made 2 in that same direction. And again, deja vu one more time. He is on fuego.
And we just talked about how he was 0 for 5, 0 for 3 from 3.
Well, it seems like everybody today.
Well, we were talking about this tournament, obviously, yesterday, doing our research and everything. And you said you actually think Dario Brizuela is probably one of the best shooters on the Spanish team.
Yeah, I mean, again,
it could be a shooter for the Spanish team.
Absolutely. And, that comes from the fact where you go to Eurobasket qualifiers during the global pandemic lockdown when he was playing for Spain along with Giannis and Barrero, especially in the game against Poland. I mean, he made some big-time shots, but, I say this also, maybe it's a little bit biased because he came from the Academy of the Estudiantes, which is one of my favorite historical basketball teams. Even in the Eurobasket, he made some big-time shots, but it's how he gets those three-pointers off the dribble, catch and shoot, his movement. I mean, he's a phenomenal player to watch. Well, surely not 4. Oh, my goodness! I think Dario may have heard me in the game and said, hey, you said I can't shoot threes. Sit down, be quiet. Dario's on fire. Oh, please, one more. Let him get 5. Go for it, Dario.
It's too close.
Well, Adama comes up. He'll throw this one down. And now, indeed, it is a 44-point lead to Spain with 4:05 left. And now Lebanon will call timeout. For Lebanon, Shona, it's about pride. They don't want this to get as bad as it is.
I agree with you. I think it's about pride. I think it's about looking to the future. I'm not sure, do we see Spellman stay in the game? He's already played 28 minutes. They don't play tomorrow. They do have tomorrow off, so that's a good sign.
Well, we're going to listen now to this Lebanese timeout. We'll hear what the coaches have to say. Well, actually, let's talk about Santi Adama because, it's very tough when you make the transition from the NBA back to the international game, but, he looks at home at the moment. Well, this is his home.
Yeah, he does. What a game he is having. Santiago Adama, 17 points, 6 to 3, 9 rebounds. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double. And, I've talked about it all game. He looks more comfortable out there than he did last year. And, I think he's showing why he deserves to start, why he deserves to be a main player on this Spanish team, and just the progression that he has made this year in the NBA, it's helping him play better here for this Spanish team, and he's really exciting to watch right now. He looks comfortable. He looks comfortable no matter where he is on the court. If he's shooting threes, if he's scoring around the rim, he's doing it defensively as well.
Here's a scary part. What if he played for Spain in 2022? He wasn't even a part of that Eurobasket team. But again, it's the same narrative we keep talking about. Even without the big guns, Spain finds a way. Well, Hadidian back in the game. Probably try and give Omari Spellman a bit of respite here. As Eldowich fires a 3. And I like that, coming off a ball screen, finding space, knocking down.
I also like that action out of a timeout, no backing down. You said it's about pride. I think that's exactly what you want to see if you're coach. Out of a timeout, hey guys, game's not over. Show that you deserve to be here.
Well, good hands by Karim Zainoun. 7 left on the shot clock for Lebanon. Hai Kyok-chan trying to match up with Jaime Pradilla. Again, whatever Lebanon can take out of these final 3:33, take it into the game, and no doubt we see the Angolan coaching staff. They're watching very closely. Well, great defense by Ali Mansour. Well, Nunez, I don't think he's going to get away with that one.
I think that's a good call by the referee. It was right in front of him.
How would they say in Spanish? Él está bailando en la cancha. Zainu looking to attack. Nowhere to go here. Good hands by Diaz. Now they have numbers. Garuba down the middle. Look out below. Finds Pradilla with a one-handed slam. And look how quickly Lebanon, like this. El Dawich. They tried it in the first half. Hadidi goes in. But you know what, Shona? I like that. Again, Lebanon trying to play quick. We haven't seen a lot of transition buckets. But even something like that at this stage in the game, those are the positives.
Yeah, you mentioned it coming out of that timeout, or actually going into the timeout, that right now it's about pride, and they've shown up. There's 3 more minutes in this game. It was 4 minutes when they called the timeout. I think they've had a great reaction. And again, I mentioned, you know, you're thinking about the future. I can't see Spellman checking back into the game.
Well, both free throws made by Hadidian. Again, Hadidian was probably one of my favorite players when he played for Lebanon in the 22 FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. I mean, he's a workhorse, and you know, he's going to be heavily relied on. Wow, great defense by Ali Mansour. It's one thing about Ali Mansour. He is like a glove on defense. You ever watch Asia Cup qualifiers or the main tournament? He will chase you all day long. That is timed to perfection. $13 here on the shot clock for Spain. 2:52 to go in the fourth quarter. Respectfully, the game is wrapped up. Lebanon will play right to the end. Nunez finds Diaz. He's made 1 3 tonight. Makes another one. Well, the rain in Spain has come down here in Valencia tonight, Shona.
Yeah, no. 16 made free throw for this Spanish team.
Mansour trying to go pick and roll with Hai Gokchan. Finds Hadidian. Down low, good passing in the end. Nice finish. Oh, Dawich fortunately had the force of Osman Garuba going down, but well, Garuba's defense, he will contest almost anything here. I mean, you could probably try to send him a Facebook friend request to follow him on IG, but he'll try to block you, I think. Just over 2 minutes here in the fourth quarter. More games to come tomorrow. We yet to see Poland and Angola in action in their respective groups. Big win early today for the Bahamas. There's Jaime Perdilla in the corner. And again, the threes just keep flying in, Shona. They're not going to stop it anytime soon. Perdilla pump fakes. Garuba gets one block, gets another one. And again, Noe Mikasa. Well, Garuba blocking everything at the moment. Now Mansour finds El Dawich. Got to think about shooting time winding down. Nunez down the middle, goes in with a little floater, but he can't get finish. I don't know how you box this man out.
I don't know. I think, and you know, we saw Willy Hernan Gomez start, and then Garuba came in, did a good job defensively against Spellman.
Well, here comes Spain, numbers. Well, they wanted to go for the alley-oop, but Pradilla goes for another one. He's unable to get this. Well, nice take by Dawich. In the end, finds Ali Mansour. Much better play. Those are the positives. I keep saying this.
5 white jerseys, running hard, sharing the basketball, staying aggressive and attacking.
Spain patiently passing the ball around. Now they go down to Garuba. Makes a no-look dive, finds, well, missed a layup, missed a putback. But Garuba unable to chase up the loose ball. 21.3 seconds left. Well, I can't imagine Lebanon's going to go for anything right now because the shot clock has been turned off. But even so, Spain picking up man-to-man full court. And Hai Gokchan, I think they're going to probably leave this one here. Remember, both these two teams will be in action against Angola. There's a turnover. But Padilla showing the sportsmanship, showing the respect to Lebanon. Basketball fans, we thank you for joining us. At the end of this, Spain takes the win. They win 104-59 against Lebanon. I think it's as we expected, Shona.
Yeah.
Number 2 ranked in the world. They were simply excellent.
Yeah, they really were. And, you know, I think they had a statement game today that there's a reason why they're hosting this tournament. They want to make up for what happened last summer. They believe that they deserve to be at this year's Paris Olympics. And I definitely think with that performance, they showed that they were the favorites going into this tournament. There are a team that we're used to seeing in the Olympics. It'll be interesting how this continues to go on. I'm also interested to see what happens with Juancho. Hernan Gomez, he went out, didn't come back in. That could be, you know, a deciding factor for them moving on later in this summer if they qualify. So maybe we'll get an update for them tomorrow.
And Lebanon, of course, you'll look at the scoreline and think, well, tough game. But, you know, there you can see the Lebanese flag. Those beautiful Lebanese fans making the journey here. They played right to the end. They did everything they could. But as we said, you're up against one of the very best in the world. Sergio Llull, what a great game from the veteran. 17 3-point field goals made by the Spanish national team. I mean, I think if you're going to make that stat line, you're going to win by the margin you've won by here this evening. Spain winning the rebound count 43-33. And obviously a 15 assist difference with Spain getting 29. Well, you know, Lebanon, they've got to put a line into this game. Yusuf Hayat leading all scorers in this game with 20. That's a huge accolade for him to take away. But now we're going to look back at some of the key moments of this game, this victory for Spain. Well, of course, we talk about the little goals, the little victories that Lebanon had to take in this one. But, you know, Spain, the way they move the ball, you got to think, who's going to probably match up with them well in this tournament? Over
we saw the game before, Bahamas against Finland. Not sure who can really match up with Spain. We haven't seen Angola and Poland play yet, so maybe we'll have a better idea tomorrow. But right now, I mean, Spain are playing, in my opinion, like the second best team in the world after this game.
Well, collectively, there's no argument. I mean, it is a system. We see this from Spain, from the men's, the women's, the youth. It is a style of play that, you know, many try to replicate, but it's impossible because they play it at such a high level. You know, going back to Darren Bethwella, ice cold at the beginning of this game, but in the fourth quarter, my goodness gracious, 4 threes, and it was the same place on the court. Deja vu moment. But even plays like this, as soon as they come up and still force a turnover, they're on the run.
Yeah, no, they really are. And I think, you know, defensively, they have players who can, you know, stop individually. Like you said, Diaz, one of the best defenders, but they also do such a great job helping each out on the defensive end. They're exciting. I'm really excited to see how Spain will progress in this tournament. Now, Lebanon, they need to regroup and get a win over Angola.
Of course, short time to turn around. Both these two teams will be in action against Angola. The kings of African basketball have dominated the Afro-basket for many years. They featured at many Olympics. But of course, only one team from this tournament will qualify. As will one in Puerto Rico, as well as Riga in Latvia and in Greece. Exciting times here. FIBA OQT. Well, basketball fans, we would like to say good night, goodbye, buenas noches.